What's up, y'all? My name's Ryan, and welcome back to Surviving the Struggle, where I give helpful tips to surviving this struggle we call life. Today, we're going to talk about budgeting methods. We're going to go over the pros and cons of 3 budgeting methods and see which one is best for you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how I personally budget. When most people hear the word budget, they think about restricting their spending and cutting out all the fun. But a budget is just a plan that you make for yourself on how you want to spend your money. Nowadays, before we drive somewhere, we get on Google Maps to get the directions. Think of a budget as your roadmap to financial independence. Having a budget keeps you on track with your financial goals and uncovers some of those unwanted spending habits. When you're trying to lose weight, you got to get on a diet. Think of a budget as your meal plan to get financially fit. But before we choose a budget, there's a few things that we got to consider. What's your pay schedule? Do you get paid every week, every other week, monthly, by tips? What's your current financial status and what financial goals do you have? Another thing to think about is how much time and effort are you willing to put into this budget? The hardest thing about a budget is being consistent and sticking to it. So you want to pick a budget that best suits you and your goals so it's easier to stick to it. And now let's get into the different type of budgeting methods and see which one is best for you. Let's start with the pay yourself first method. This is a very simple budgeting method that focuses primarily on savings or debt repayment. Every time you get paid, you set aside a specific amount towards savings or debt repayment. Then the rest, you spend however you like. Now, of course, you got to take care of bills and have money for food and transportation. But with the pay yourself first method, after you take care of your bills, you don't have to track each and every expense. The best way to go about this is setting up an automatic transfer the day you get paid so you don't have the excuse of saying you forgot. Now, the good thing about this method is that it's very simple. And if you have inconsistent income or get paid by tips, you can make sure that your saving goal or debt repayment is taken care of first. On the other side, in those rough months when money is kind of tight, it might leave you scrambling for loose change at the end of the month or if unexpected expenses pop up. The pay yourself first method is best for those who are trying to pay off debt or have savings goals but don't have to worry about tracking every expense. Another budgeting type is the 50-20-30 method, also known as percentage-based budgeting. In the 50-20-30 budget, 50% of your income goes to essential expenses, such as your rent or mortgage, utilities, car payment, car insurance, health insurance, groceries, or any other monthly expenses you have. Then 20% of your income goes to savings, such as 401k, emergency fund, or any other savings goals that you have. And 30% of your income goes to wants, which includes things like dining out, going to bars and clubs with your friends, any hobbies or extracurricular activities that you're interested in. This also includes any streaming services like Netflix or Hulu. Now, these percentages are adjustable because you might find out that your essential expenses are more than 50% of your income, or maybe you want to save more than 20%. But the 50-20-30 method is a simple plan and could be good for those budgeting beginners because it gives an outline on how to balance your wants, needs, and savings. The downside of the 50-20-30 method is it doesn't really focus on debt paydown if you're in a lot of debt. And if you have big savings goals, 20% of your income might not be enough. The third method is the zero-based budget. In the zero-based budget, you categorize all your expenses and subtract that from your income, and the goal is for that to be zero. Now, this don't mean that you go spending all your money, but every dollar is allocated to a specific category such as housing, utilities, transportation, allowance, etc. I advise everybody to at least try the zero-based budget because it gives a full view of all your spending. And instead of guessing what your expenses will be and praying that you stay within the budget, you track your spending in real time and can make adjustments as needed. Some people use the envelope system, where you have an envelope for each category and use cash to put the allocated amount in each category. This could help with overspending in certain areas because once the money's gone, that's it, or you have to take money from other categories. But the zero-based budget can be time-consuming because you got to go back through past bank statements to see how much you make and what are your monthly expenses to start. Then track all your expenses during the month to make sure that you're staying within your budget. This method can also be difficult for those with inconsistent income, but averaging your income from past months can help with this. Now, personally, we kind of use a mix of all these budgeting. We start with percentage-based budgeting for our retirement. We use the pay yourself first method with our short-term goals, then use the zero-based budget for our bills and allowance. But you got to figure out which method or methods best suit you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Surviving the Struggle. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button below. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that little bell on the side so you'll be notified when I upload new videos. And if you're tuning in on podcast, subscribe and join me on this journey of surviving the struggle. Again, thanks for watching. Until next time, holla at you.